demographic profile and visual outcome in open globe injuries at a tertiary care center.
Good morning, everybody. I'm going to present a paper on the topic open globe injuries and its visual outcome using OTS score in a tertiary care center of central India. Open globe injuries are full thickness defects of the eyeball and the leading cause of monocular blindness. They result from blunt or penetrating trauma, often due to projectile impact. The structural disruption leads to significant visual impairment or even permanent blindness. In India, ocular trauma is 4% of cases. Globally, 55 million occur yearly, with 2 million causing visual loss. Visual prognosis in open globe injuries depends on the mechanism and extent of injury, involvement of ocular structures and complication. Early surgical repair and appropriate management are vital to preserve vision. To standardize outcome prediction, Kuhn et al. Introduced the ocular trauma score incorporating the initial vision, pupillary response, globe rupture, and intraocular involvement. The OTS is currently accepted as the gold standard for assessing the prognosis, but it has several limitations. The aim of the study was to study the open globe injuries and the visual outcome by using the OTS score and its association with pre-operative variables. This was a prospective study conducted in a tertiary care hospital from November 2022 to May 2024. It included patients over 18 years. The sample size was 55 using the conveyance sampling. Patients above 18 years presenting with open globe injuries were included. Closed globe injuries, chemical or thermal injuries, serious systemic illness, and pre-existing ocular pathologies were excluded. A total of 55 patients were included with a mean age of 40.4. The majority were in the 20 to 40-year age group. Males were predominant. More than half of the patients belonged to the upper middle socioeconomic class. The mean time of presentation was 71.9 hours. Metal was the leading causative agent, with injuries occurring in industrial and farm settings. Zone 1 was the most frequently involved site. Sharps accounted for 74.5% of the cases. Penetrating injury was the most common type, followed by rupture and intraocular body. At presentation, the majority of patients had vision between light perception and hand movement. The mean visual acuity improved for 2.1 to 1.7 logMAR at 3 months. Anterior segment involvement was common, with corneal injury, lens injury, and hyphema being the most common. Posterior segment involvement included vitreous hemorrhage, vitreous loss, and retinal detachment. UL prolapse was significantly associated with poor visual outcome. There was a significant association noted between the final visual acuity and the OTS scores in open globe injuries. Most patients required a single surgery. This is a photograph of a 24-year-old male who had trauma due to fall from bike. He was managed by primary corneal tear repair. This is a photograph of a 34-year-old male industrial worker who got injured by an iron blade while working on the machine. The patient underwent primary corneal tear repair with iris abscission. Cataract surgery was done at 3 months. A 30-year-old male who had trauma to eye by glass piece while driving car, he underwent primary corneal tear repair followed by application of a bandaged contact lens. This is a 40-year-old female who had trauma to the eye by iron hook while working in the factory. She underwent primary scleral tear repair. Open globe injuries are among the most devastating ocular traumas, often leading to permanent visual disability. In this study, we assessed demographics, injury patterns, clinical features, and prognostic factors, highlighting the ocular trauma score as a predictor of outcome. Most patients were from the upper middle class. Unlikely findings by the Kao et al., likely due to the regional occupational differences. The OGIs were predominantly affecting the young and middle-aged, particularly males, reflecting their greater exposure to occupational hazards. Penetrating injuries were most common. Industrial and farm-related accidents were the primary setting, underscoring the need for stricter workplace safety practices and protective eyewear enforcement. Zone 1 was the most frequent site, consistent with the Mann et al., though it did not influence outcomes in our study. Most patients presented with poor vision improved at 3 months, but it still remained limited. Corneal and lens injuries with vitreous hemorrhage were common, while UL prolapse predicted poor prognosis, aligning with the Guan et al. Corneal scarring and traumatic cataract were major causes of poor outcome, highlighting the need for secondary interventions like keratoplasty, cataract surgery, and visual rehab. Open globe injuries are a major cause of visual morbidity, mostly affecting young middle-aged adults. The take-home message is timely recognition, early surgical intervention, and consistent follow-up are critical for better outcomes. Preventive strategies, including workplace safety protocols and protective eyewear, are essential to reduce the burden of these injuries. Higher OTS score predicts a better visual prognosis. Lower scores indicates severe injury and poorer prognosis. These are my references. Thank you.
Thank you. So, what was the intervention done for retained intraocular foreign bodies?
Uh, Sir, all of them were managed. We had a CT scan done of every patient. Wherever there was an intraocular foreign body, we removed it, and all the patients were managed surgically.
No, at the primary surgery itself, or it was
In
done.
the primary surgery itself.
So vitreoretinal surgery was done
Yes, sir.
at the primary surgery
Yes, sir.
itself. So they will need secondary surgeries also.
Yes, sir. Few of them also needed secondary surgeries. When the patients developed traumatic cataract, mostly we went for a secondary surgery of lens extraction in the second sitting.
Like some silicone oil or something. Yeah. So how long is your follow-up?
Sir, 3 months. 3 months.
3 months is too short a period actually.
You said the presenting time, average presenting time is 71 hours or something,
Yes.
which is very, very late as far as trauma is concerned. In that, effectively is around a week. So by that time, most of the injury is like inoperable. The pictures that you have seen shown seem to be very recent surgeries, like the trauma occurs within a day or so, the surgery has been done. While your presenting average time is 71 hours, means some of the patients presented much later than that. And primary surgery at that time is not gelling with your presentation.
Ma'am, the setting being a tertiary center, few patients, they presented within few hours, like 3-4 hours. But few patients also come at 12 days or 14 days. So the average time differed accordingly.
So you being a tertiary care center and average being 71 hours, even if you take a bulk of the patients should come within the first 48 hours, right? So the average time of presentation cannot be 71 hours if you want to do a primary surgery. That is my only problem with your presentation.